Got my K-Cups, breakfast blend, Stop and Shop brand, Keurig, and my Chucky mug. Friends till the end, you guys. It's a little bigger than normal. I put 2 of these in there, but I'm gonna do 1 for now.
That's a big bottle of wine. I guess there's a theme here. Danny's laying it on real thick with the typos. I mean, he even put this giant. Finding Danny. Danny? Should I be looking for something that's misspelled? Kept misspelling things. I feel like the only way I'm going to find it is if I go up to every single thing around here. Oh, Jamie! There's this. Mistakes, broken things.
And instead of sugar and normal cream, I always do the flavored, either French vanilla or peppermint mocha. I try different ones depending on the season. Put a little dash there.
And entertain the idea of what Sarah told me of checking my car. Here's Danny's desk. Danny, you couldn't see it? It was tiny on the label of.
Good morning, campers. Campfacer here.
Wake up! Here, come on, guys.
That's a good cup of coffee. Let's go outside and chat. We're going to talk a little about my skateboarding trip to Chicago and what went down. So please come sit by the nature with me and my coffee, and we're going to enjoy. Let's go. It's about 8:30 in the morning here on the East Coast. My little fire pit. I got it stocked up with some odds and ends. I got to burn off box. We burn a lot of boxes and sticks and good stuff around the yard. This is our big green random bush in the yard. It's the only bush of its kind in our yard. Our picnic table that was once nice and red, now it's wear and tear. We got to repaint it. Over here we have our little wood pile. It's pine. It's not good for burning indoor, so it's outdoor stuff. A tree that fell that we got to burn off. And we got Mr. Smokey the bear, you guys. This is a target practice, compound bow, whatever we want to shoot at it. But you guys notice that big crack down the middle? What happened was, see, this big tree fell over one day and took its head right off, and I had to try to glue it back together, and it'll do for now. Over there we got a swing set for the kids. They're kind of outgrowing it, but it's still just there. This big dirt circle spot here, kind of in the middle of all the foliage, is our swimming pool we set up every summer. It's about 3.5, 4 feet deep by 16 feet wide, and we have a kayak over there. It hasn't been used in probably like 7 years. I gotta get back out on the water. I used to surf a lot. It's been about 8 or 9 years since I last went surfing. I'll get into that later. I know it's still early in the morning, but the sun hasn't come up quite yet. It's about 49 degrees here in Rhode Island. And no, we don't live on an island. It's called Rhode Island. There's Block Island that's probably a few miles off the coast. I didn't get into this, but this tree right here, this beautiful pine tree, see this? It's about, I want to say that's about 17 feet tall. My brother, years and years and years ago, planted this tree. He planted it. It was about a foot tall. It was a little baby tree they gave him away in school, and it's gone up that big. And it's the only little pine tree in this yard of its kind, and it's beautiful. I wish there was more of these. And we actually have a little memorial around the bottom, the base of the tree, from little pet animals that we've owned in the past. Rest in peace, Pinky. I know Pinky was one of them. And Bugs Bunny was a rabbit. Pinky was a hamster. Let's get into this conversation while we drink our hot cup of coffee, you guys, with Chucky. I hope you guys are enjoying these little vlogs I'm doing. Like I said on my YouTube channel, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of everything. I'm here to share my thoughts and entertain you guys. And if people don't like it, they can just go on their way, or they can sit back and enjoy time with at camp. Today we're going to talk about my trip to Chicago. I forgot how many years ago. It was probably I was 21. But yeah, we're going to talk about my trip to Chicago, you guys. I was 21, so I want to say it was about 22, 23 years ago. My friend Greg, one of my best friends, he lived before that. He grew up here in Rhode Island. We'd skate all the time. I used to sleep over. This is how I started watching horror movies with Greg. His mom, his dad would go out to the little mom and pop shop, and he'd rent the VHS stacks of movies. I'd have sleepovers with Greg. Some of the best times growing up with Greg, watching horror movies, skating, learning how to skate, playing with G.I. Joe, Transformers, the whole 80s into the early 90s growing up with Greg. One day his parents decided to split, and things went down, and they had some family living out in Chicago, so they decided to pack it up and move. And things got a little depressing, you know, and me and my two other friends, Jake and John, I believe, it was them two that were like, hey, camp, let's go to visit Greg in Naperville. That's where he lived, in Naperville, Illinois. Naperville, Illinois. Chicago's the city, obviously. But this is going to be about the trip to Chicago. Anyways, we went out there. We planned to go out there. We got train tickets. I don't know, for whatever reason, instead of flying, we decided to take a train. We thought it was a good idea. Were we wrong? Holy shit, were we wrong? But, you know, it was more affordable to us young kids getting on a train. I was the only one 21. I think they were like 18, 19 maybe. We thought it was a fun idea. So we jumped train from in town here, Amtrak, I believe it was. And it was us three. I had a giant duffel bag. Oh, crap. I got a bug in my coffee. I got it. I bought a giant duffel bag, just long enough to put my skateboard in. We all had to bring our skateboards because Greg was still skating, and it was a thing. Like, back then, skating was a big deal to us. It was also a big deal to police officers, where they got bored, and it was that whole era of like arresting skaters for skateboarding. You ever hear that thing, the stickers that say skateboarding is not a crime? Well, it was in that time. It was rough. So anyways, I packed my clothes, my skateboard, and my ID so we can get some drinks, because I was the only one that was 21, and it was exciting then, you know. So we got on the train, and the problem with us three was there was oddball, because trains had 2 seats on each side of the aisle. My friend my friend John and Jake were the ones to always be like, stick together and make me sit alone, because they were just being dickheads. And of course, I always had to sit with a stranger. So the entire trip to Chicago, which took forever, a day and a half or 2 days, it felt like forever, because we kept stopping, slowing down, stopping, getting off. I had to sit with a stranger, and the guy looked like Christopher Walken to the T, and he was so fucking weird. I remember one night I was sleeping, or trying to sleep, and it was so uncomfortable to begin with. The seats didn't go back that far on the train. I looked over, and his head, this stranger, I didn't even know, might have said a couple words to him. His head was like on my shoulder as he was sleeping, and I was awkward, and I was just like, how do I get this guy's head off of me? Let me make sure the video camera is still going. Yeah, I was like, how the fuck do I get this guy's head off of me? And my friend Jake and John, were across the way laughing their asses off. So the guy was just weird, following us around all the time. Like, we'd get off the train at a stop. We'd go into like a store while we had time to get back on the train. The guy, instead of just sitting there, he decided to like follow us, like walk around like he was our friend. And I was like, this guy's fucking creepy, man. What do we do? And they were laughing like, I don't know, dude, but you gotta sit with him. It was, I don't know, it was awkward. On the train though, there was a bar, which was cool, and there was a lounge, and you could like play cards at the table. And I bought us drinks, and they didn't seem to like even investigate. I would just keep buying drinks and bring them to my friend. They didn't say anything, and it was just fun. Finally got to Illinois, Chicago, whatever. My friend Greg picked us up, and as soon as they picked us up, him and his girlfriend, it was about like fucking 95, 100-degree humidity, and right off the bat, I was in the back of the car like, this is gonna be a miserable week, because we were there for a week. I just knew it because he lived in a small apartment with his mom. And it was like no air conditioning. The only way to sleep was on the couch or on the floor. It was fun. But at the same time, I just had to like go from being comfortable to, you know, I was like, oh, homesick already. But at the same time, we were having fun, drinking every night, skating, ripping it up, shredding. He lived in Naperville. It was up and down in Naperville. I'd go to this package store and buy 40 ounces for me and my friends. And in broad daylight, we're drinking, skating down the road like, because we're on vacation, it's okay. It's not against the law to drink, skating down the road, like we thought. Like I didn't, not realistically, but you know, it was like going through our minds. It's like, yeah, we're on vacation. We do what we want, you know. Anyways. We went to Chicago a few times. The first day we went, it was a lot of fun. We were skating through Chicago downtown, and we spent a lot of time on this big, huge slanted statue in the middle of like the plaza. It was called the Picasso, I believe. I think it was called the Picasso. We were skating up and down that slanted piece of metal. It was pretty big, and around that there was like an all open, like a park, but in the middle of it was all cement. And we were skating there for a while. Anyways, I'm going to cut to the chase of what happened. A few days later, we met up with some of my friend Greg's friends, and we decided to go back into the city. And it was getting kind of dark. The sun was going down. We were on the train. I think they were called the L train or the T train. There was no subways there. Chicago is all above the rails are all above ground. And you get off and you walk down the steps to go into the city and get on the train up higher. You don't go down like in New York. It's totally different. Hold on, let me check the camera. Anyways, we all were skating through, and we went to like this one little spot. I don't even know where it was. It was they had cool like grinding. Like it was just it was a private like. It belonged to an office building or something. It was in the middle of the city. It was a lot of traffic, stop and go around us. And one of the kids said, yeah, we got to watch out for the cops. They don't like us being here. And we were just like, whatever, we're all skating. There was probably about 15 of us. 12, no, not 15. I would say about 8. And about 5 to 10 minutes later, 2 cop cars come zooming up and stop, and they get out. And I remember just people running, the cops being like, get over here. And what happened was, as soon as that happened like that, my board went flying and rolling right towards a cop and the cop car. Everyone else had their boards in their hand. They could run. And if they all ran different ways, the cops weren't going to catch them. And it wasn't like we did something illegal. We were just screwing off. We knew we weren't supposed to be doing it. They couldn't really arrest us. But once you run from a police officer, that gives them the right to arrest you, because you're evading a police officer. You can't run from a cop. Cop says stop, you gotta just stop. You start running, then that's a whole new can of worms. So I had stopped, I froze. The cop picked up my board. I couldn't run anywhere, because if I did, then he has got my board. And you know, it wasn't that big of a deal to me, but everyone else thought it was kind of like funny game, like let's run from the cops. At the same time, they were scared. So at that point, everybody had ran off, and I'm standing there itching my head like, I'm not running, what's up? And the cop was like, where's your friends going? And I was like, what do you mean? I don't know. Check the camera. They're like, the cops were like, where are your friends going? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm here on vacation. We're just skating. They ran off. He's like, get in the car. I was like, all right. So I got in the back of the car, and there was like the black cop, the white cop. Black cop was driving, the white cop, no, the white cop was driving. He was like, he looked like almost like a Dick Jones from RoboCop, like that attitude. And the black cop was chill, younger, like a brother, just totally chill. And I was just sitting there, and I played my cool. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't lying. I was honest, just sitting there like, what did I do wrong? You know, I obviously, what am I going to do? Get arrested? I'm in the back of the car. My skateboard's in the trunk. They're like, why were you running? I was like, I wasn't running. I stopped. Why were your friends running? I don't know, because they got scared. Who knows? Where'd they go? I don't know. I'm here on vacation. I have no idea where they went. They all ran different directions. I think you know where they are. I'm like, how do I know where they are? And the black cop was like, man, he was telling his partner, just chill out, man. The white guy was like, almost like, want to know what it was? My friend Jake, when they told him to stop, my friend Jake looked at the cop with his board. The cop was about 25, 30 feet from him. And he goes, fuck you. And the cop was so mad about my friend Jake saying that to him. He took it personal. He's like, I'm going to get that bastard. Then the black guy and I started talking about, I'm not racist, by the way. I'm describing, like, there's this cop and there's this cop. I was talking to him about school, and he was asking, like, we're here on vacation. Oh, you're going to college? And I was like, yeah, I'm a community college, and, you know, this, that, the next thing. And he was cool. And then he looked at the other guy. He's like, yeah, let's just let him go. He didn't do anything. He stopped. So they finally pull up about a quarter mile away after taking left, right. I have no idea where they were driving at that point, and they let me out of the car, and they take off. So there I am standing on a sidewalk in Chicago with a skateboard in my hand, a camera in the other, because I'm sitting there taking a picture like a tourist would do. So there I am sitting with a camera in my hand. I have no idea where I am at that point. I don't even have my friend's address on me, because there was no cell phone, there was no online, there was nothing. If you didn't write shit down, that was it back then. So there I am standing there. I'm lost at that point. I'm freaking the fuck out. But I was starving at the same time. And I was like, I got to find something to eat, and then I'll get my mind on how do I find my friends, where do I go? Luckily, I could spot a McDonald's like a couple blocks down the road. I saw the arch. It was like still in the city. We're still in the city. I'm sitting there snapping pictures with a camera that you don't even know what the picture looks like until you get the pictures developed. That's, you know, disposable cameras back then. Sitting there, I'm like, where the fuck is my mind right now? I'm lost, and I'm taking pictures going to McDonald's. So I go to McDonald's. I'm in a line, starving, getting ready to order my food. I was the second person at that point in time to get ready to go up to the register to order, because, you know, I gotta eat. If I don't eat, I can't think straight. All of a sudden, boom, 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 on the window, my friends are there. I'm like, how the I ran out. I'm like, I gave them the biggest hug. I was like, how the fuck did you guys find me here? How did we find each other? How, that is like, in a big city like that, how the fuck did you know they were like, I don't know. I was just walking by the window. I looked again, and I saw you online. They're like, what the fuck are you doing in line at McDonald's right now? At that point, we're just like, holy shit. And then they were still kind of nervous, because they were like, are they still looking for? I was like, yeah, they're looking for you. They're pissed at Jake for saying that to them. So they were still on the hunt looking for them. So hold on. So we find each other, and it was us four, me, Jake, John, and Greg. And we go to get on the train at the bottom of the stairs that go up to get on the train. And as soon as we were getting to the bottom of the stairs to get on the train to go back to Naperville, The cop pulls up, like as if he pulls up right to the sidewalk, on the sidewalk. And as if he was spying on me, waiting to see where I was walking. Almost like he thought I was still knew where they were, and I didn't. But he ended up finding, like I led them to my friends. And my friends were like, oh fuck, they ran off again. I'm standing there again, you guys. Standing there with my thumb in my ass. The cop was like, where are they going? I'm like, I don't fucking know. He's like, you knew where they were. I was like, no, I didn't. So they took off again, and I'm still standing there. Now there I am, lost again, you guys. My friends took off. I had no idea where they went. They ran down a dark alley, down the road, wherever. I was like, what the fuck? This cannot happen twice. Twice. You gotta be fucking kidding me at this point. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is ridiculous. Why didn't I run with them this time? I'm just not a runner, I guess. I guess I just freeze. I freeze a lot in life. I just, not panic, but just kind of like, I don't know. Hold on. So anyways, here I am standing there. And at that point, my story gets kind of foggy where we end up finding each other finally about 10 minutes later, and one of them was missing. John, my friend John, was missing. They caught my friend John and this other kid. They eventually found another kid from the group originally down the road, like when it first happened. So we all go back to Naperville. We get on the train except for John. John's missing. He's arrested. We all go back to my friend Greg's apartment, his mom's apartment in Naperville, and we call the police stations around to see where John is. And John was, one of my friends from here. It was Jake and John. So we found out he was in downtown, cell in downtown. So we call Greg's girlfriend, Shannon, and she's got the car, and we drive to go pick him up to bail him out of jail. But we had to wait for a while in like the park outside while Shannon went inside to try to bail him out. And he eventually comes out, and he was telling us stories how like this kid and him were chilling in the cell, and it was just weird and awkward and kind of creepy. And so anyways, he's got to go to court the next day, but the next day was our day to leave to come back to Rhode Island. So we jumped ship, got on the train, and came back, and it was like an adventure. But we were trying to find plane tickets at that point because we didn't want to take that long ass ride on the train back. It just sucked, really did. Don't ever take a train from Rhode Island to Chicago or like that far wherever you live. It's a long ride unless you anticipate on sitting in an uncomfortable chair, long rides. If you're into that, that's fine, but it just dragged out. Till this day, John's been fine. There hasn't been any I think he was underage, so it cleared quick. It wasn't like he was an adult. So it wasn't like, it was stupid. All for skateboarding, you guys. That's what it was like back then. Chicago police are definitely, they suck. Or they did suck. It was rough. And not every police officer is like that, but back then it was pretty rough with skaters. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for sticking around and watching this long vlog. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, like this video. That's all I ask of you guys. Like it, share it, leave a comment down below. Do you have any stories running from the cops? Let me know your chase stories down below in the comments, or run-ins with the police in the past. I'd like to hear some stories, you guys. We're all sitting around chillaxing in the woods here at camp. And yeah, please subscribe if you have not already. I would appreciate it. Hang out with more new people here at camp. Become a camp member. There's a member button at the top of my channel. All you got to do is click it. It's only $1.99 to join. And I'm going to have exclusive videos that only members only can see. And I'm going to do some fun shit in the future with that. And there's some cool perks. And I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams and different members only nights. So think about becoming a member at camp, you guys. Join the camp army. Let's do this. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, stay out of the woods.
I always said we could work out whatever the trouble might be. And though I still want to leave, it's getting harder for me. Well, maybe it's something that happened, or something you gotta go through.